Scrolling through the screen, yeah, I'm full vibing in. Reviews on the daily.
Hi, and welcome to my channel, Soulful Layman Reviews. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a movie from 2014 called Dracula Untold. Ooh, those vampire vibes. Yeah, I know. For all the vampire fans out there who also know about Bram Stoker's Dracula, Van Helsing of Hugh Jackman, or something like Underworld 1 to 5, then go to Fright Night, the old Fright Night, not the part 2, the new one. And then some like Evil Dead and all those other movies that get into the category. You will love Dracula Untold. If you haven't yet watched it, it's going to be a great watch and you're going to know why. If you've already watched it, it's worth a rewatch. Okay, what caught my attention first going in to watch Dracula Untold? Well, the first thing that I did was watch the trailer, rewatch the trailer because I had already watched the movie and lots of things were forgotten, but then I decided to rewatch everything, starting from the trailer like I would before the movie starts to show in the cinemas. Obviously, Luke Evans. He was the Dracula with that kind of cool warrior look and a life ender as a human.
Look away! You can't protect us.
I'll find a way.
By the way, if you're asking yourself why I'm looking to this side, got my tablet. That's where my notes are. And yeah, Arula in well-made armor.
Please welcome the beautiful, the astonishing, the very, very talented Sarah Gedon. Good. And Luke Evans! Oh! Good to see you. Oh, wow. You're really like Dracula. You sneaked in, you're like, what? Like, hello, Sarah, boom. I've heard that you had kind of problems with your armor, that you sometimes couldn't sit, were not allowed to sit. What about
No,
that?
it wasn't not that I wasn't allowed to sit. I couldn't sit. There was no questions about whether I could sit. I just couldn't. So I would just lean against things. Like, it was long days, very long days. But it looks good. The armor looks amazing, right? I mean, it's amazing armor.
He has the look of a commanding presence. He's a tame beast, tamed by his beautiful queen. She is so beautiful. Sarah Gedon, well done. You looked gorgeous, stunning.
Sarah, you keep saying that this Dracula movie is a family movie. Why is it a family movie?
I was just saying that because I'm a part of the family. I'm a part of the Drac family, a part of the Vlad family.
That's right.
So that's where all of my scenes existed. So that's why.
Oh.
That's why I thought. That's why I said that.
She's very easy to fall in love with. Look how beautiful she is. Is she beautiful?
Come on, applause.
That's Mrs. Dracula.
Now, the castle, family, and territory, plus there's a war. From what I saw in the trailer, I'm like, okay, what was that all about? Who is the seemingly annoying wannabe golden armored asshole?
The Sultan is preparing for battle.
And then the glimpse of the signature cape as he's climbing up that mountain, plus the vulnerability to the sun. Later on, you're like, wait a moment, climbed up the mountain, and now vulnerability to the sun. Obviously, he's starting to turn. And then the moment he met his maker and turned full like vampire.
I have been waiting an eternity for a man of your strength to arrive.
Welcome to your life.
What is it you are seeking?
I want the power to destroy my enemies and save my family.
There's no turning back.
Drink, Dracula.
So, what did I expect going in? Nothing much. Nothing much. Obviously, a charismatic Dracula, great cast, authentic environments, nothing new, no great lore to sweep me off my feet, nothing that I haven't yet seen or read about or heard, and no captivating plot or twists. Yet, I still had hope and expectations for something to kind of catch or pique my interest. Then you have Van Helsing, Underworld, Dusk Till Dawn, Fright Night, Morbius. Well, Morbius tried, but became too much of an experiment. Now, if we remove Morbius and you check the other ones that I've just mentioned, you don't expect much about vampires. And then Underworld 1 to 5 filled in lots of gaps of potentialities. So I was like, what else can they do? Morbius did a great thing, but I'll come to that later on in another review, where they experimented and you kind of like are experimenting how to watch the movie, because lots of things are like whew. But anyway, the fun in Morbius came too late. Now back to Dracula Untold. I wasn't expecting that much. I had a lot of wisdom. My cup was full and I wasn't expecting to add in anything new. So my hopes were low, but okay. I didn't want to have some stupid crap like in Thor, Love and Thunder. I would never do that again, watch a movie that gives me that same feeling from the very beginning. I would never watch it from beginning to the very end like I did with Thor, Love and Thunder.
He's not going to go into the temple, is it? No.
You get what I mean. As in literally, you get what I mean. What the fuck was he doing a split for to show off his flexibility? That is so stupid. I don't even understand why a god would try to show off like that. Doesn't make sense to me. I was so pissed off at that movie. I asked myself, who is going to give me money for the time I invested in this kind of crap? But I still decided to just watch Dracula Untold, unbiased. What surprised me is question 3. Were there any moments, twists and changes? Yes, of course, there were. But I didn't know that there would be in the movie, since my hopes were being kept at a neutral, stoic level. So, this movie starts out with the son of Dracula, Ingeras, telling the story of his father, his past, just like to get hints at it. And then all of a sudden there's a fucking twist where you see the story from the father, Dracula's point of view, and you forget about the son as the narrator after the 5th or 6th minute, as in it was gone, out of my sight, completely lost. You reach a point where you fully associate with and relate with Vlad Tepes III, Dracula. And Lord, there are moments where you do wish for him to impale some motherfuckers. Now, the story catches up with you. You ask yourself, what would you have done at some crucial points? And all of a sudden, Dracula is now the Prince of Transylvania, and he's done lots of good deeds, and he has a very good moral compass. He's just trying to chill out his life and live with his people, kind of be the kind and great ruler. And then all of a sudden he's forced to go beast mode because of some motherfuckers who come and ask for more than they can chew. And it would have all been great had they just been civil, but they didn't want to be civil. They just wanted to be superimposing and boast off with their power. And come to think of it, the asshole responsible for it all used to be his best friend, a fellow prince. Now, what did it all come down to? Well, the story itself was a mysterious one from the very beginning, almost too undermining and weightless. Then the tension picks up as a discovery happens by the stream. Don't forget the stream. As in a water stream. The dilemma to protect with morality or protect by all means brings a smile to all vampire-loving hearts, because you literally wish for him to protect by all means, not by morality. Now, Dracula with honor and something any of us would understand or copy is what you find in the movie. There is a structure to it all. A fireplace story with a mystery in nature, secrets here and there, from realism and day-to-day practicality to having no other way but rely on powers beyond man. That is something that we can all relate to, because they try to kind of make it as approachable as possible. And there comes a time where a choosing checkpoint is presented, and before all hell breaks loose, you literally find yourself asking yourself, what would I be doing in that moment? And then you're kind of like happy not to have lived in those times, not to be part of that life, in spite of seeing how great and nonchalant the people lived. And it kind of makes you understand the reality of those times and how you would, in his position, kind of do the same thing or even be too weak to resist. What is the sense of the whole thing? In the end, you can't help but root for Dracula. His actions, decisions, dedication, and how or what he endures to making deals with the devil all make sense, because what he gains after that, or what he stands to gain after that, is important and worthy. Okay. Was it worth it or not? And if it was worth it, why? If not, why not? Well, all I can say is Dracula Untold was worth it. Because if you remember Bram Stoker's Dracula, the ending was good, but something was missing. The guy who it was all about had to die, because back then he was the bad guy. But from this point of view, without a love rival, and Dracula is like the lone alpha, it's all about the guy himself. So you start rooting for the guy, you see that he has a family, something that everyone would understand, and there are things at stake beyond his own control and measure, so he needs to have powers beyond what he can control and measure, or what the world can measure, to be able to stand his ground. And it all makes sense. Now, you see that the ending is more than what you could wish for, with a hint of even more to come. There is no second part, not yet, but we hope for a second part. And it's beyond times, and it is sweet and rewarding. Now, with a taste of what's to come, it leaves you hanging, and the teaser is literally like pulling things into our times, where there is some kind of version of a grand game at scale that is being played, and immortals are wandering amongst normal humans. Yes, you do see the Ancient One again, but there is a surprise to why the Ancient One is shown again. My final verdict. Most negatives and missing links to the persona of Dracula, his childhood, youthfulness, and his life, what made him who he was, to the man he became before turning into Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, son of the devil, after becoming the Prince of Transylvania and was forced into beast mode by the Turks, as seen in the movie. It is all just ironed out and cleaned up, and then you have a fuller picture of the lore and the story of probably one of the most known vampires in history. Get that, with adding some tension of urgency from Fright Night and some action from Lord of the Rings, the fight with Sauron at the very beginning, and also Van Helsing vibes, Van Helsing of Hugh Jackman. You get yourself a really good movie. Well balanced, with a steady climb up the top, and great fights, great scenes, great choreography, nice angles, at times a bit too zip-zapping, but you get used to it and you feel this drive, as if you are fighting the battle with him and with his army. The epicness of the movie came in with the new take on Dracula. From the son telling the story to the son being forgotten, and then you are Dracula yourself watching everything happen from a third-person point of view as if you're reviewing your life, is insane. It got me so immersed. I'm like, that is good. It kind of like had this feeling of when Deadpool broke the fourth wall and started talking to the audience in the fucking movie. And I'm like,
Baby,
Oh, hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie? I can't tell you, but it does rhyme with Pulverine. And let me tell you, he's got a nice pair of smooth criminals down under. Anyway, I got places to be, a face to fix, and oh, bad guys to kill.
maximum effort.
Okay. So that's the kind of feeling you got with Dracula Untold as the twist happened, but this time it was more subtle and very fluent. You were like a stream of water flowing from one perspective to another. What also made it a great movie was like it was slightly hinting on the Castlevania of Netflix and Castlevania the game. And it was a good child to carry on the legacy of Bram Stoker's Dracula with a more relatable, approachable take on the guy himself. I wish they showed more of the romance, I will repeat that, but maybe that would have made the movie unnecessarily longer, shifted everything away from the stakes that were at hand. It was all about the drama and the reason for him to change. So I will give it to them, and maybe we'll wait for Dracula Untold 2 to see how that will unfold. If it ever is made. I hope it is made. I am sure someone will make it out there, so do your best. Now, my deep take on it is, at times, letting sleeping dogs lie in peace is better than trying to bite off more than you can chew. And at times it is better to fight for your own sovereignty than dealing with the full brunt of someone else's authority that is suppressing your very nature and being and your own freedom. You have to understand that life is only as much as you make of it, so you have to do your best to make the most out of your own life. A mutual benefit and balance would be the best thing for civilized beings. But that is also hard at times, so maybe find a mediator if you are incompatible. But that's the main take on the whole story. What did he do it all for? Obviously, love. Love for his wife, his son, his people, the empathy he had, the things he had to go through and he endured, all that culminated into the man he became before him trying to tap into darker powers for the sake of the protection of all he loved. There is a betrayal that happens, but even that shapes him even more, and it makes you even root even more for him, which is brilliant. Anyway, I've come to the end. You'll have to watch the movie for yourself and see if you see it the same way as I do. My take on it is that love can give you power beyond measure to endure things beyond measure. And if you place that in the right way and you have a good moral compass that has been tempered over the years and you have been exposed to several types of human beings and you are okay with everyone being different and you just don't go poking some sleeping dogs awake, your life will start to flow. And obviously, if that doesn't work out, find ways and means to up your game, level up, get more power and authority, just for you to be able to protect and keep the peacefulness of your own sovereignty safe, whatever that would mean for you. Okay, that'll be all from me about Dracula Untold. Have fun watching the movie again, and yeah, see if you see the same things as I did.
My father was a great man. A hero, so they say. Sometimes the world doesn't need another hero. Sometimes what it needs is a monster.
My prince.
I've missed you.
Something troubles you.
The Sultan is preparing for battle and requires 1,000 boys for his army, including your son.
Run to your mother.
Look away!
You can't protect us.
I'll find a way.
I have been waiting an eternity for a man of your strength to arrive.
Welcome to your life.
What is it you are seeking?
I want the power to destroy my enemies and save my family.
There's no turning back.
Drink, Dracula.
Welcome to your life.
What's happening to you?
I'm the thing men fear, not a ghost. Something else.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
I see the devil inside him!
Walls come tumbling down.
Do you think you are alive because you can fight? You are alive because of what I did to save you!
The world.
Never forget who I am.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe, and they insights knowledge we provide.